Today we want to talk about the third member of the Black Order, one of the sisters that did not turn on Thanos and his cause. Today, we are going to observe Proxima Midnight. She has a similar history to the rest of Thanos' children. She was taken from a destroyed world, trained to be a warrior for Thanos, and brainwashed to be loyal to him and his cause with a strong desire to impress her father. She is very similar to her comic book counterpart, being one of Thanos' top lieutenants as well as one of his most skilled combatants. On top of that, she is probably a bit more sadistic than the rest of Thanos' children, appearing to have a lot more pleasure from torturing and fighting those that oppose Thanos' cause. But despite that, she is one of the only members of the Black Order that shows love for one of her fellow members, that being Corvus Glaive, as they are actually married. Although she is fiercely loyal to Thanos, she shows a lot of love for her husband, being concerned to his state after he is defeated at the hands of Black Widow, Captain America, and Falcon. She immediately came to his defense after being wounded by Black Widow, lunging at Black Widow with a strong intent to kill. While she did use her acrobatics to both force away the combatants and get closer to her husband, they were ultimately defeated. And since her concern was for her husband's safety, she dismissed her quest in favor of making sure her husband got help. After the battle for Earth in upstate New York, she is actually one of the last Black Order members to survive, ultimately killed by Tony Stark's snap. But what's interesting is that in her last moments, you can see her in the background cradling her dead husband who was killed by Okoye, as they eventually fade to dust. As for her power, she is extremely strong, fast, has a tremendous endurance, and is nigh invulnerable. She surpasses normal human strength by far, but is matched by the super soldier Captain America when he uses Corvus Glaive's weapon to fend her off from attacking Black Widow. She herself is extremely durable, possibly even near invulnerable, not only withstanding Scarlet Witch's telekinetic bolts, but also Black Widow and Okoye's attacks on her, being barely fazed by the blows, only showing minor discomfort. But she also has enhanced speed, agility, and reaction times, with the ability to perform complex acrobatics and jumps to get close to, away from, and around her enemies. It also allowed her to attack and defend simultaneously while facing two opponents, or even three to some extent if necessary. As a master combatant, she was skilled with various weapons and fighting styles, and had the upper ground on multiple combatants, but was ultimately killed by those whose powers were not close range. So as long as she was up close and personal with the ability to use her sword or three-pronged spear, she had the upper hand in combat almost every time. And with each of these weapons, she was highly skilled, proving her adaptability and intelligence. But as with everyone, she had weaknesses as well. One of those again being the love for her husband. She allowed emotion to affect her mission to retrieve the Mind Stone, more worried about her husband's safety and state than completing the mission, as well as letting her anger get the best of her, distracting her from fighting Captain America and Falcon in favor of trying to kill Black Widow in her anger. And in the Battle of Upstate New York, when Corvus Glaive was killed by Okoye, she seemed that she'd likely stop fighting to go be with her dead husband, removing herself from the battle and possibly helping cause the downfall in Thanos as she didn't help retrieve the stones. And in going along with the emotional side of her weaknesses, we see that she was also fairly arrogant, allowing her sadism and reverence for Thanos interrupt her just killing Black Widow and moving on to the next enemy. This last bit of monologuing is her ultimate demise. While telling Black Widow that Thanos will get the Mind Stone, she doesn't notice Scarlet Witch about to throw her up into the Thresher. And finally, combat-wise, she couldn't really face off against those who were not hand-to-hand combatants, and even seemingly having trouble with more than just two, especially because she seems to get a bit of tunnel vision when fighting two combatants, only focusing on them and not noticing a third combatant entering the ring. This weakness gave her enemies the ability to flank, surprise, or outmaneuver her, ultimately causing her defeat on multiple occasions. So, although she was a skilled combatant and very loyal to Thanos, it seems that the one thing that makes her an interesting member of the Black Order would ultimately be her downfall. But what do you think of Proxima Midnight? Let us know your thoughts on her and the rest of the Black Order in the comments below, and then like this video and subscribe to the Marvelous Wave to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.